Just so awesome, yes, you are. When I did not deserve your grace, when I was considered unworthy, said you stay right there for me. Can anybody agree with that word? When I wasn't worthy, God, you stayed right there with me. You let me figure it out, God. You gave me time to figure you out, God. God, you waited on me. Jesus. We thank the God of patience in this place on today. God who's still patient with you to this moment. You don't mind standing as we prepare to read God's word on this morning. If you can stand to your feet as we reverence the word of God in this place. Let's give out one more hand for that awesome worship team. Always in position to usher in his presence. Almost cut those videos off to let God have his way, but he still had his way, and he's having his way in this place. Amen.
Amen.
Today we'll be in the book of Matthew. And Rashid, listen, today you can just stay right there. You can flow with me up and down as we go. You just stay right there, man. I'm feeling the presence of God. I'm not going to be up there long at all. Matthew 25, we're going to start at the 21st verse. As it is on the screen, and it says here, it says, his master replied, well done, my good and faithful servant. Look at somebody say, have you been faithful?
Have you been faithful?
It says, you have been faithful with a few things, and for that I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. Now there's a context I'm going to go back and read, but I'm going to go back and explain. But for the sake of this hour, this is the only scripture I'm going to read. I'm going to read it one more time. It says, his master replied, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, and for that very reason I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. Listen, look at the person to the left and to the right and just say, listen, I'm going to tell you today how to tell God thank you. You may be seated in the presence of God. 3 steps today. The thing about telling God thank you is you really can't tell God thank you at all. You have to really give God an action. God wants to see your gratefulness. He doesn't necessarily want words. Listen, seeing is believing. Am I right? Like you can tell me all day you love me, you trust me, but if you don't show me that, then there's a different response from me. I'm going to know based on your actions and not by your words. I come by here today to tell you, 3D, that based on your actions is going to determine how God responds to your gratitude.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
That's good.
So here we are. And I want to say this. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Listen, growing up, I was a child. Can we take something real off? I sound like I'm in a tunnel. 2. I don't know. God bless you, Brother Will, back there. That Pastor Will in the building. Listen, so growing up as a child, right, I was considered spoiled. You know, I was an only child by default, so things would come my way, and I would not know the value of saying thank you. And I've told this to my early church probably 2 years ago, but I remember one time getting a gift, and my Aunt Mia would say, boy, you're just so ungrateful. She would fuss at me. She wanted to teach me what it meant to be grateful. I didn't know what it meant to be grateful because I felt that I had everything that I needed. It always came. And I still have that grace on my life, but in this season, I'm more grateful because I had to go through some things. Amen. But I was spoiled in a sense. And I call it extra love. That's what I want to call it today. I'm good, Rashid, to the end. That's on me. I got you. I'm going to change gears a little. And in the beginning of life, I was spoiled. I got everything I wanted. So I remember getting stuff, and my Aunt Janice, we'd be at church, and she would teach me, and what you supposed to say? I said, thank you, I'm sorry. And I get this little pain in my side or on my knee. Chris, you know about that pinch, boy. You know that ministry right there, don't you? Look, y'all know, look, I ain't the only one been pinched in church. Can I get a few witnesses in here today? Don't y'all look at me like that. I used to get that pinch. You better tell her thank you. what you supposed to say. I was in here with a meeting yesterday, and the little baby got a cookie, and mom was like, what you supposed to say? And he just started licking his Oreo. First of all, Bryson does not know. How does he know at that age to open the Oreo first? Like, most babies just gonna bite into it and try to get the, man, Bryson. I did not say that. Messing with the Davis family back there in the building today. But one thing, when somebody gives you a gift, what's the first thing you should say?
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up on Thanksgiving, I saw it to be fit today to talk about Thanksgiving, giving thanks to the things that are around us. That's why God will not spoil you, though. You've been wondering why everything doesn't happen when you want it to happen, how you want it to happen, as you think it should happen. It's because God says, I'm not going to spoil you to the point where you don't know how to say thank you and give me the glory for what I brought you through. Amen. Therefore, I've got to give you some pain. I've got to give you some storm. I've got to hand you this because I need you to be balanced. Look at somebody say balanced.
Balanced.
Where there is no pressure or no pain, there's no gratitude for what comes good. Yes. Jesus, I'm trying to help somebody in this place. Listen, I want to explain the context of the scripture that I read. Listen, it said, his master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. Listen, there were 3 servants and 1 master in this story, or this parable that Jesus taught. He said, 1 master, 3 servants. He said, 1 servant with 5 talents. He said, another servant with 2 talents. And he said, another servant with 1 talent. All according to what he thought was fit based on their level and where they were at that season in their life. There's a long scripture, and you can go home and read it, Matthew. It's called the parable of the talents, and you'll be able to explain. But when you begin to understand the moral of the entire parable, I want you to do one thing for me. Say, look at your neighbor and say, whatever God has blessed you with,
Whatever God has blessed you,
you need to thank him for it.
you need to thank him for it.
Oh, so listen, somebody should have been praising him right there, because what's happening is with God, you just can't tell him thank you. You got to show him. There was one gentleman he gave the thing to, he gave 5 to, and what he did was he took those 5 and he made it and invested his talents and his possession, whatever the master gave him, and brought back 10. He doubled his profit. It's like putting money in the bank and gaining interest. The one that he gave 2, he doubled his and brought back 4 to his master. The one he gave 1 buried his. That's not the point I'm making today, but he brought back the same thing God gave him, and God was not pleased. With the first 2, however, he said, well done, the same exact words, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Because you have been faithful over the few, I can make you ruler over many. I'm gonna get there. I'm about to break it down for you. Listen. With God, you have to show God that you're grateful. Listen, the guy with 2 talents never walked out complaining because the other guy next to him got 5. You got, see, the brother with the 2 is the strongest to me in the moment, because sometimes we want to get jealous of somebody else's portion. Can I get a witness? That brother took his 2 and made his 4, and God still said, I trust you right where you are. Sometimes the level you on is just what God trusts you at right now. That's it. No need to get jealous. Listen, he did what he had to do. That brother took them 2, and he was a good steward over it, and he had to do what he had to do, and he had to make something happen with what God gave him. Listen, we have to be good stewards over what God has given us.
I receive that.
Listen, it might not be as much as we want. Hear me when I say it. Listen, we all want a little bit more. We all have dreams. We all got visions. We all got money, wants, and desires. But listen, it might not be what he gave the next man, but it's what he saw fit to give you in this season. Listen, the Lord will not give you more than you can handle. I promise you, it's in the word several times. He will not put more on you than you can handle. But see, that's good or bad. If he can't trust you with 5 cents, he ain't gonna give you 10. I promise you, he wants to trust you at the level. But see, how you make God trust you is by showing him you're grateful for what you already got. We're gonna get there. Listen, listen, you don't need to struggle wanting someone else's amount. You just gotta learn how to work what you got. So you work what you got. So I'm gonna tell you today, the sermon title is How to Tell God Thank You. It's 3 points I want to bring home. Number 1, the number 1 way, first way to tell God thank you is to be faithful. Somebody say faithful. Faithful. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been Faithful. Look at somebody say faithful one more time. Faithful, full of faith. That means to be committed. Listen, faithful. You got to be faithful. There's some things you got to be faithful over. Hear me. If you want God to give you some more, you got to be considered a good and faithful servant. And you got to be faithful over that man he gave you. Tell the truth. Jesus. I'm coming down somebody's street. Listen, you got to be committed. Listen, faithful means to be committed. That's what it means. I'm going to break it down. Faith in marriage means to be committed to your man or your woman, brothers. Faith in marriage means to be committed. Faith in school or at work means to be committed to your job. Faith in church means to be committed to your God and whatever your assignment is. Faith in whatever you do. Commitment is what it is. Commitment. Somebody say commitment. Faithful means to be committed. Psalm 37:4 says, commit thy way to the Lord and he will give you the desires. Woo, listen. Commit. In other words, be faithful to the way of the Lord. And the Lord and his will for your life, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And I'm about to tell you, because that's a trick statement. God set you up for that one. Like, I don't think y'all caught it. Commit your way to the Lord. That means you gotta commit your heart, your ideas, everything you do. You're committing the way you want to do it, the way you want to go. And you're giving it to the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of really his heart for your life. Woo! I need y'all to catch that. Listen, there's a trick statement, man. Listen, you want to see things open up in your life, you have to be faithful where you are. That's a trick statement, man. That's a trick. God set y'all up, man. You walk around, we skipped the first part of that. You walk around like, he gonna give me the signs of my heart. What is your heart like his? The Bible says, created me a clean heart and renew a right spirit. And me, my brother David, my main man, said, created me a clean heart, renew a right spirit, and me commit thy way to the Lord. Listen, don't forget the first half of that scripture.